Hey BFFs, how are you guys doing? Oh my goodness, I've missed you so much. Yes, my hair is wet and I have on my pajamas because I just took my first hot shower in almost a month. So guys, I am filming this on Friday. Hopefully, if we have internet on Sunday, you guys will get to see this on Monday. Fingers crossed. But I just wanted to let you guys know. I got a cup of coffee. I would just want to sit down and chit chat with you guys a little bit. So let me get into what all has been going on. So guys, as you know, I wrote my dates down just to be sure. Helene, Hurricane Helene, hit us directly. We got the eye on September 27th. It was a Friday morning. Y'all, ooh. Can you see my Yoda? Oh, it says, I'm just gonna keep looking cute. Yeah, it's my Yoda cup, my favorite coffee cup. But, Helene hit us. We got the eye Friday morning. Through the night, the path shifted, and that shift led directly to us. I was sitting on the couch with hubby. They had already canceled schools and work the day before. So I was sitting on the couch that morning with hubby, actually having a cup of coffee, and the winds were whipping. It was, if you've been here long enough, you know, GiGi, I do not like storms. I'm afraid because of the fact that I've been caught in 2 tornadoes. I'm afraid of the wind. And of course, hubby was keeping a close eye on the weather, and trees just started falling like crazy. You would have strong gusts. Of course, it was constantly blowing, and it was whipping. I think we had several tornadoes touch down also during that time, because some of the trees down, you could see that, you know, the trees were blown over in a like a pattern. They were all blown down, roots over. Some, just the tops of the trees were just broken off. But we've had lots of trees down in our yard. We actually lost our power Friday morning. We had a huge tree fall onto the power pole across the road. So we have a generator. Generator didn't work. So hubby says that he goes out, he looks, generator, he's like, well, we need a carburetor for the generator. So I went on Amazon, realizing that yes, this was a major event, but not thinking of how long we were gonna be without power. So I went on to Amazon, I ordered the part. Hubby joked and said, you know, probably by the time the power comes back on, that's when I'll get the part. And I'm like, well, if that's the case, then it'll be 2 days, because, you know, Amazon delivers within 2 days. No, y'all. This storm was a mess. Y'all, our power grid got completely decimated in our area. It was ridiculous. And then, of course, we didn't know it at the time because, we didn't have any power or anything like that. We were just, kind of concerned with what was going on with us. That North Carolina and Tennessee were just getting the snot beat out of them. So, I had bottled oxygen because I'm still on oxygen. I don't use my oxygen very much while I'm filming because it's loud and it leaves the marks on my face. So while I'm filming, usually I'll cut it off, do my videos, and then put it back on. But I had a bottle of oxygen that ran out. Like I said, we had no generator. My little portable oxygen, hubby was taking to the car and plugging it in the car, letting it charge, and my battery only lasted about every 2 hours on that thing. So he was going back and forth every 2 hours to charge that oxygen, little small oxygen, my portable oxygen. Within a couple of days, that went on for a couple of days, hubby went and bought a fan because, of course, we didn't have air conditioning. The first couple of days right after the storm were mild. It was tolerable. But then it hit 90-degree weather. Y'all know how hot 90-degree weather is in the South with the humidity. It is horrible. So everybody had kind of started getting their power back on around us, but not us. All of our neighbors had power. As a matter of fact, everybody down the street had power. We were the only home in the area that did not. Because when it hit the power line, the tree hit the power pole, it snapped our line from the pole to our house, but everybody else is around us, their house, their power was underground. So see, when they connected the big part, theirs come back on. Ours didn't, because ours still needed to be connected back to the pole that was laying down because of the tree. So, the creepy next door neighbor, y'all know who I tell y'all about, because when all this was going on, they're older, my husband went to check on our neighbors to see how they were doing. And they had told my husband, they told hubby, they told Ben that if we wanted to borrow their generator, that we could. That was a lifesaver. That was an absolute lifesaver. We plugged up, because I was out of oxygen at that time, we were plugging up my small little oxygen every 2 hours, charging it in the car, and it was miserable hot. Hubby went and bought a fan, and I'm not going to say anybody was price gouging, but hubby paid $80. $80 for a fan. You couldn't find fuel anywhere. You couldn't find ice anywhere. Y'all, it was a mess. Like, people were shooting each other at the gas pumps. People were fighting. People were trying to steal. Y'all, I've never experienced anything like that in my whole entire life. But I did see a lot of folks coming together. Our small little community, we were the only ones without power, but the one neighbor allowed us to use his generator. Another neighbor allowed us to use his fuel. Of course, you can't give that back, but he gave us his fuel for their generator because they didn't need it anymore. They had power. A neighbor brought food over. So aside from all the craziness in the smaller communities, there was a lot of folks helping each other out. We borrowed the generator. We got to plug up my oxygen concentrator. And that was a blessing. And also, we got to run the fan. Not being able to breathe, guys. And then on top of that, having the heat, it was miserable. It was miserable. Nobody was really going anywhere because trees were down, blocking roads, and it was a mess. It was a mess. My parents, out of myself, my daughter, my son, and my parents were the first to get their power back. They had been without for over a week. They got their power back. Then my brother actually was next. He got his power back, but they were trapped in. There were trees all blocked in, so they couldn't get out, but they finally got their power back. My daughter got her power back, and we got our power back, and then finally our son, he got his power back. But yeah, we had no power. My daughter, she had no water. She's on a well. I don't think my son had any water either. But it was challenging. Now, of course, like I said, our power infrastructure had to be rebuilt, and a lot of things that our power company was waiting on the bigger power companies to get their stuff back up before they could get other people's stuff back up. And of course, we were one of the last that got our power hooked up because it's a numbers game. You want to try to get as many people as you can hooked back up, and then the scragglers, those of us who are left, we were the last ones to kind of get it. Those outlier individual folks. But it definitely was a challenging time, not having hot water. Hubby took a mini cold showers. I was like, no, I'll do little bed baths. I'll keep myself going with bed baths, because I was like, I don't think I can do a full body cold shower. So we just pretty much had to do little bed baths. So just getting a hot shower, it's amazing the things that feel good. The air being able to come back on, that felt good. Well, that didn't last long because now it's freezing. I think winter and fall are fighting to see which one's gonna win this battle eventually. Fall will, but we're still going, we're in the 60s today, which is cold to me. And then through the rest of next week, it's supposed to be in the 80s and 90s. But I'm thankful that we weren't as devastated as some areas. I think we lost about 38 people in our area, and the majority of that was trees falling on cars. As a matter of fact, way after the storm had passed, my mom was driving to work, and her car was damaged from a possible tree falling on her car. Actually, it was totaled. And you know, you think we've went, okay, from September the 27th to October the 24th without power. And that's a long time. That's a long time. And the day that the power come back on, we got it at night, but the power came back on, and that day the carburetor for hubby's generator came. So it had been delayed all that time. So hubby's prophecy was right. We got power the day we got the part for the carburetor for the generator. I told him, I was like, don't you be making any more of those statements, because I don't want to hear about that. No. I love coffee. How do y'all drink y'all's coffee? I drink my coffee jet black. Like, jet black. Occasionally, I'll put some creamer in it. Like a chocolate caramel creamer or a mocha. But most of the time, I just drink it straight black. Hubby told me when he was was it Germany, baby? Where you dipped coffee? Or was that in...
Oh, that was in Iraq.
That was in Iraq.
Yeah.
Oh, well, when he was in Iraq,
Other than that, MRE.
he would take the coffee, and instead of like making the coffee, he put it in his mouth like he was dipping so that he could stay awake. I guess there's all kind of tricks when you gotta stay awake. I mean, you can only go so long without sleep before you crash, so I'm sure they were trying everything they could. But guys, I have missed you so much. I hadn't even got to close out September's budget. I had all the stickers and everything laid out for October's budget, because that was going to be filmed that weekend. That Friday was when I was going to start filming my videos for the next week, and I didn't do any. I paid the bills the best we could. We didn't have good cell service. I couldn't make or receive any calls. Hubby could if he went out like way in the middle of the road. He could do that. Or, in which they still worked. As a matter of fact, hubby, with his job, they were fueling up rescue equipment trucks, because he's a state worker. But yeah, they were fueling up the rescue folks' trucks so that, you know, I guess they didn't have to fight for the fuel that was out there. So hubby was leaving me here, going to do that. He'd come home, check on the generators, refill them, and then back out. Just done that for a while. but once the power did come back on and I could see what all was going on, my heart broke for those people in North Carolina. I know I have budgeting friends there, in Tennessee, Florida, Georgia. Helene did a number. Helene did a number on us. And you wouldn't expect so far inland that we would have too many of those issues, but we sure did. When her path turned, the eye ran right smack over us. And it's not a storm I'd want to go through again. I know there are a lot of, I don't know if they're brave or they're crazy, that love riding out hurricanes and things of that nature, but nah, that's not my type of enjoyment. But so guys, if y'all are seeing this, I'm hoping that we'll have internet back by Sunday. So if y'all are seeing this on Monday, you know we got our internet back up. But I just wanted to come on and say thank you so much for your prayers. Keep praying, because there's still people out there without power. There's still people out there with damaged homes. I mean, there's still people out there missing. And we kind of know at this point, folks are probably not just, you know, in the hospital somewhere, nobody knows where they are. At this point, I'm sure it's more of a recovery issue than a rescue. And we all know what that means. So we need to keep those, if you pray, we need to keep those families in your prayers. And if you don't pray, then send positive thoughts and vibes. We take all kind of good energy, whether it's prayers or positive words. We accept it all and we pass it all along. But I thank you guys so much. Like I said, I couldn't wait to hop on here, like in my pajama, in my robe, in my jammies, cuddled up, my hair soaking wet. I was like, I've got to get on there to my BFFs because I've missed you guys so much. And honestly, my budgeting world with everything happening, it just froze. It just stopped. The bills were paid, and that's about it. That's about it. So I've got a lot to catch up on. I've got a lot to do. But I love you guys, and I thank you so much. Until next time, friends.